How do you stop ruminating on the past? The fastest and most efficient way to stop ruminating on the past is through the use of propitious questions. The past is only good for extracting data. You can learn lessons from that information of the past, but it's really not good for anything else, so you should not live in the past. You should not be constantly thinking about the past. But sometimes we find ourselves ruminating, which is turning over and over again and thinking again and again about this old scenario, this embarrassing situation, where this failure or something that's bothering us in the past involuntarily. That we're doing it without meaning to do it, and we find ourselves doing it again and again all day long. And then we get tired and we're like, why do I keep ruminating on this? The reason your subconscious mind ruminates on the past is because it's trying to solve a problem. There's something about that past that violates your values. It's disturbing to you. Then because it violated your values, your subconscious mind is trying to make sense of it. So it keeps going back because it recognizes that a value, something important to you, was violated. It's trying to figure out how to make it work. It goes back and replays the embarrassment, the betrayal, the loss, and replays it over and over, trying to find what you were missing, or place it over and over so you can rehearse what you could have said differently. But you're stuck in this ruminations. How do you get it to stop? Well, through use of propitious questions, you can actually cease the subconscious mind rumination by getting it to stop turning over and over again on the old problem, by giving it a new problem to solve. Not just any problem, a propitious one. The term propitious means something that's to your benefit or to your favor. So you need to actually think, how could this all work out to my benefit or to my favor? And then you formulate that into a question. You're going to make it a why question. You're going to grandize the self a little bit, kind of boost the self up a little bit with your propitious question. So you want it to be nice and drippy with positivity. So its propitious questions are going to sound something like this. Why does that not really matter for the success that I will inevitably have? Why will I be successful regardless? Or aggrandize it and say, why will I be wildly successful regardless? Why am I still very important regardless of how I was treated? Why does that situation not define me? Or aggrandize that a little bit and say, why am I so much more than that situation? Why am I still great despite what happened? Why am I actually amazing regardless of what happened to me in my past? These are examples of propitious questions. And what's going to happen when you ask yourself this question is your rumination will cease. The reason is because the subconscious mind is designed to solve problems. When you give it a new problem to solve, because that problem now, this new problem that you gave it goes in the opposite direction of the old problem, it has to shift and turn around. At the very least, even if it can't answer the question, it will stop the rumination and extracts. If it can answer the question, it's going to start dropping all types of blessings on you in terms of what the subconscious mind comes up with. And all these little blessings that are coming to you are going to feel good. And you're not only going to come out of the rumination, you're going to come out of the resulting anxiety and depression that it puts you in. Now, will you ever go back to the rumination? Likely, because you've already created the neural pathway in your brain, which means that you've thought about it so much that the routine has been created. So you have to create this new propitious neural pathway. By every time you catch yourself ruminating, switch over to asking yourself a propitious question. It can be a different one each time. It can be the same one. But you have to switch over to a propitious question because that gets you in propitious thinking. And the old neural pathways will start to close up because it will realize every time we try to ruminate on this, he gives us a propitious question, and then we need to work on that. So let's just switch over and work on that now. And over time, if you keep using propitious questions, you're going to find that your thinking is going to change. You'll no longer be stuck in rumination. You're not to be a prisoner of your thoughts. Don't believe everything you think. Now, we all know that honesty is the best policy for any relationship. But what you might not know is that the only person who you really need to be honest with is yourself. So long as you're honest with yourself, you don't have to worry about being honest with anybody else. It will be automatic. Because when you're honest with yourself, you will no longer be around people, places, and things that bring the dishonesty out of you. So let's focus on honesty this year. Beginning with being more honest with yourself. At the end of the day, the only person who deserves your absolute honesty is you. Narcissists want to make sure you're ready to get back in that rotation before they're ready to let you back in. They want to keep you sad and single and stuck on them. They can't have you moving on. It is the classic Hoover. They're going to give you hope to believe that they're coming back. Sometimes they make plans with you with no intention of showing up. They want to make sure you stay under their thumb so that you can't be under somebody else, if you know what I mean. So they'll make plans with you and let that clock run out so you can't make plans with somebody else. And by the time you text them saying, hey, where you at? They let you know that they can't make it for whatever reason. Some of their other hoovering tactics are to block you and unblock you. Watch your stories. Send you snaps, send you messages with blatant statements like, have you moved on? Because they want to know whether or not you've moved on. They're baiting you. They might send in a flying monkey to let you know that they've been talking about you because they want to hear back on what you have to say about them. Sometimes they request you as a friend on that one social media site that they never let you on to begin with. They might send you a message to say they're thinking of you. Of course they are, because they need you to be thinking about them. They might message you saying they miss you and then not respond after you respond to them. Oftentimes, they're going to send you flowers, love notes, telling you that nobody compared to you, and then poof, be gone and ghost again. That narcissist needs to know that you are sad and single and waiting on them. They want to make sure you're ready to get back in that rotation for when they're ready to let you back in.